Welcome to the B&J podcast. I'm Brandon Herbert. That's Jahan Caesar, and we have a really fun activity today. We're going to be discussing the NFC and AFC East. Before we get started, we can just run down what's been happening into the NFL. Really, not too much there. Cole Beasley saying that he's not going to follow rules, and Card Nassib came out as he's gay or whatever the case may be. This is really a political podcast or anything. So, I mean, if you have any comments on any of that, you can. But me, I really don't have too much to say.
With Cole Beasley, deciding he doesn't continue to follow the protocols that are in place for unvaccinated players, threatening that he might retire and stuff like that.
Childish.
I mean, hey, we'll have to see how it works out, but that's a whole nother conversation that could be, its own podcast, honestly. But we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah. Well, like I said, this has been a really dry spell. This is probably the driest thing, but we have a lot planned. We're gonna be putting more content out for you guys. We have a lot planned on the docket. We have a little fun activities we'll be dropping throughout the weeks coming up until the NFL. And even while the NFL is going on, we have a lot of fun things that we're going to be doing. But like I said, today, like just for example, today we're going to be just talking about, we're trying to run down all these divisions so we can talk about everybody's teams and everything like that. But yeah, so the first team on the docket they finished at the bottom of the division, the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles have gone through a lot of turnover. Their ship Carson Wentz out. They got Jalen Hurts, and we don't know about him. And then their offensive line is getting older, and the defense is getting older. They did get a receiving weapon in Devontae Smith. There's a lot of questions. In the coaching hire, they have new coaches, they have new schemes. So, what are your thoughts on the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yeah, the Eagles to me, they finished last year, and I'm expecting them to do about the same thing again. I'm not too excited about the Eagles. I don't know what it is that it's just. I'm not too excited about what they got going on over there. Like you said, the defense getting old. I mean, they still got guys like Fletcher Cox, Darius Slay, with ballers, but getting a little bit older. New coaching staff, got to see how it's all going to mesh. But I kind of like Jalen Hurts a little bit. I like some of what he showed last year. Definitely has some potential. I was calling him to take Carson Wentz's job from the moment he got drafted. But I mean, I like some pieces they have on offense, but I would project them again to be at the bottom of that division. It's just not too exciting. I don't know what it is.
But hey, I mean, that division to me, I can't. I mean, yes, we can project them to be at the bottom, but at the same time, like to me, that division is still up in the air. I think I can envision all four of those teams winning. And that's because like we don't know what we're gonna get from. We'll get to the other ones, but we don't really know who. The only team that we can actually say that to me that we actually kind of know what they're about, like fully, is the Washington Redskins. Or sorry, the Washington football team. But the Philadelphia Eagles, to me, they. Like I said, you don't know what Jalen Hurts was. I've been a Carson Wentz fan, so I don't think that everything that was going on was his fault. Now you did get Devontae Smith. I think Devontae Smith is going to be a beast. Like I think he's going to be a really good player. But you also have a quarterback that doesn't throw, the ball accurately the way that he needs it to be thrown. Devontae Smith can take a slant and take it to the house. Like, but at the same time, like I said, I don't know if I fully trust Jalen Hurts like that. And then, like I said, the offensive line, now I do think that the offensive line is still going to be solid. Probably still going to be top 5, top 7. But I think that Zach Ertz is going to get traded before the season actually starts, and I think it'll be Dallas Goedert's team. You know, because to me, they're still going to probably be at the bottom, but at the same time, like I said, we just have to see with this coaching staff and everything like that, because like I mean, if they can win the division, this would be the best shot at it.
I mean, yeah, like you said, I mean, it's definitely up in the air, as far as who's gonna win. But yeah, the Eagles just not too excited about the situation, like I was saying. But like I said, I do like Jalen Hurts. Like I'm not of that belief of, hey, if a guy isn't a sit back in the pocket, throw the ball, he can't be an efficient or a good quarterback.
No, but you need to throw it accurately. Like even if you do the dancing around, you still need to be an accurate quarterback.
I mean, you need to be able to get the ball there, right? But you can have team success with a guy who's not necessarily the most accurate passer. I mean, you should know that, right? The Carolina Panthers.
Yeah. Well, I was about to say, like, yes,
with Cam Newton. Cam Newton's never been an accurate passer, right?
So yes, but Cam Newton
win like that.
Cam Newton, he could still make plays, not just with his feet, but he had a bomb of an arm. Like he's 250, 260. He's 250, 260 pounds, where he could just bull rush over the defenders and everything like that. So like Jalen Smith and his game is completely different than Cam Newton's.
You can build an offense around. So I'm not going to write Jalen Hurts off just because of some of the passing issues we saw. I think if they build a system around him, especially with a running back like Miles Sanders, they could have something good going. It's just not. I wouldn't put my money on it, but I'm not going to just count him out like that, though.
Okay. I mean, they must have some faith in them, because they gave away their first round pick for next year. Even though I think they got one more first round pick because they traded back in the beginning, but still, they didn't give up a first round pick when they traded up to get Devontae Smith, because they traded with the Cowboys, right?
Yeah, no, they just had to give up a third to move up.
Yeah. So they got their first round picks and everything. So if they do need to move on after this year, they're able to. All right. So third in the division was the Dallas Cowboys. Now the Dallas Cowboys, just alone, the Dallas Cowboys, they're getting Dak Prescott back. That's going to give them a huge boost. They're loading up somewhat on defense. They're trying to rebuild their defense overnight. We will see how effective they are with that, because like I said, I am telling you, you are going to love Parson. Parson was my number one defender in the NFL draft this year. And Michael Parsons, he is an absolute monster. So y'all going to love him. Now, like we discussed in our earlier podcast or whatever, I have questions about the rest of the defensive pieces that they surrounded around, him. But your offense is already going to be good. Your offense is going to be top 5, probably. Like, not probably, this will be top 5. Your defense, I see them making improvements, but I don't know if they can make it to, let's say, not a 30th defense instead of 17th defense, 15th defense, y'all will make the playoffs, because your offense is so potent with that. It's I do like Dak Prescott. I'm not the biggest Dak Prescott fan like you may be or anything like that. I'm not the biggest Dak Prescott fan, but I do think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's an elite, but I think he's a good quarterback. We will see how good he truly is if that defense improves a little bit, because if the defense improves and then he's not just having to bring them back from 30 points down and padding stats, we'll see how good Dak Prescott truly is.
Yeah, stats not included. I like Dak. I haven't always been in love with Dak, but I like him. I think he was a I mean, for the situation that they were in, it's probably the best option. I mean, he's a leader of the team, right? So I mean, you got to bring him back. Makes sense. They got some pieces, like I said, that I think could be good scheme fits. Nashawn Wright, the guy that they reached on in the third round, you're already starting to hear some positive things about him coming out of camp, which doesn't surprise me because although he was a reach, he is a perfect scheme fit just from a size and play style perspective. So I mean, there's some things to be excited about defensively, but yeah, I'm trying to temper my expectations until I actually can see that they have a defense that could stop somebody when a play needs to be made, right? So,
like I said, to me, if they finish it 15th instead of 30th, that right there will get you in the playoffs because of how good your offense is.
yeah, I would need them to be a 15 scoring defense. Like that's what we need to be
Well, that's
trying
what
to
I'm
get
saying. Like, if
bend don't break type of a system is
yeah,
what I'm expecting.
yeah, because like I said, they finished what 30th or 31st or whatever the case may be. If they are marginally, if they are like take a step forward where they're respectable, not even good. I don't think they're going to be like good, but if they're respectable, I think that Dallas can be dangerous. Like, because I still, like I said, me personally think that Prescott just passed his stats, but at the same time, he is a really good quarterback with a lot, and I mean a lot of weapons. So if you give him a respectable defense and a lot of weapons, look out.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
All right. So the next in the division was the New York football or New York Giants. Um, so New York has been going through an interesting, like to me, and it's make or break for Daniel Jones. I'm sorry. This dude has everything. They gave him everything that most quarterbacks dream of having a team going out to get. They're setting him up with everything imaginable. They put more pieces in front of the offensive line. They gave him more receiving help, a lot more receiving help. I mean, he's got so many weapons right now. I don't even know how they're going to get the receivers on the field. Like they gave him a good running game with Saquon Barkley. They gave him two good tight ends. If they fail, it would be because of Daniel Jones. And their defense was already good.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, they probably have the second best defense coming into the season in the division, right? But again, like you said, it's gonna come down to Daniel Jones. And I'm not a huge believer in Daniel Jones. Like I said, if you're a quarterback who has some flaws in your game, you need to have some exceptional parts of your game to make up for it. I just don't see it. I mean, he's a turnover machine. He's a turnover machine, and I don't see anything that's offsetting that in his game.
Well, I mean, but you don't have to be Peyton Manning. You don't have to be, if he could be an average quarterback with those weapons are going to make him look elite. All you need to be is average, and those weapons will make you look elite. Like,
well, what you got to be able to do is protect the football, right? Like,
yes,
James Winston is a good quarterback. What's his issue? The turnovers.
true.
I think he's a worse version of a Jameis Winston. If you can't protect the ball, you're not helping your team, right? Those fumbles, he fumbles like crazy. That's his issue.
He does like that.
Fumbling machine, just out of nowhere, just a fumble the ball, right? So Saquon Barkley's health is a huge question mark too. Without Saquon Barkley, I definitely don't see them having too much success with Daniel Jones, having to rely on him. I mean, yeah, you got Galladay in there. Well, I like Kenny Galladay a lot. Kadarius Toney, I liked him a lot coming out, but
then you got Slate, then you got freaking Shepard.
Yeah.
Like you got, and see, that's the thing. You don't think Slayton and Shepard as a third receiving option or second receiving option, whatever the case you want to be.
They have a good receiving core, definitely. Like I said, I just have not too much faith in Daniel Jones. Like, just don't see it. I could easily see him throwing for 20 plus picks this year again or something crazy like that. Trying to
If
force
he does,
it.
and that's what I'm saying. If he does that, David Gettleman is out of there. Daniel Jones is out of there. You know, hell, the head coach might be out of there. Like if he does that with those receiving, well, I think they'll give the head coach another chance. But like David Gettleman is definitely out of there if he's a failure. So
Yeah.
he's got people jobs on the line with his play.
Yeah, this is definitely his make or break season. But as far as the overall team, the team all together, it's probably, I mean, like I said, I like them as much as Washington or even a Dallas. Like I said, it's up in the air because they have a good defense. They have a chance to be pretty good if Daniel Jones can rein it in a bit. So we'll see.
And to be honest, like the next team is probably one of the most intriguing teams to me in the entire NFL. The Washington football team. I think that they're going to be fun, like a blast to watch, because I mean, you got freaking Fitzpatrick, the craziest son of a that's played quarterback that I've seen. Like it's just something about him that it's like, okay, you either gonna get a good version or a bad version, but both versions gonna be fun. Like, so and then Washington brought in Curtis Samuel, my boy Curtis Samuel. They already got Terry McLaurin, which I think that he is a legit number one receiver. Like people sleeping on him. They got Logan Thomas. Got a really, really solid offensive line. You got two good running backs in the backfield. And then you look at they are the most complete team in the NFC East by far. You look at the other side of the ball. Tell me who's going to be stopping them. Who's going to be like just sitting back in the pocket throwing, or who's going to run against them? Because Payne, they got those two D tackles in the middle that are really, really good. And then you still got Chase on the outside. You got Sweat on the outside. Like you got the only spot that they were missing was middle linebacker, and they drafted that. We don't know how it's going to turn out, but he ain't got to do too much. I mean, you got a pretty solid secondary, but like I said again, if the pass rusher is getting there, it makes your secondary so much better. I cannot wait to see Washington play. I mean, I really hope we get the good version of Fitzpatrick, because in fantasy and all that kind of stuff, it's going to be a blast to watch.
But yeah, Washington is the best team in the division without a doubt. They got the best head coach, the best running game, probably the best defense by far. They got weapons, and Ryan Fitzpatrick, we know it could be fun. It could get disastrous too, but being that this is probably the best team that he's played on in some time, so I think that might be some extra motivation. Well, I mean, he was on Dolphins last year too, but he wasn't the starter. But yeah, so
he was, but he wasn't.
he wasn't really the starter. He was just something for them to play with last year. But I mean, it's going to be interesting. That's definitely the best team, the best situation. This could be Fitzpatrick's best chance to finally make the playoffs, right? He's never made the playoffs as a starter.
All he really does is have to play, decent. Just you don't have to be Fitz magic. Like, just be a decent quarterback this year. I'm more excited about the weapons because like Fitzpatrick, he can throw the ball deep. Like he can do his thing.
This should be McLaurin's best season. This should easily be his breakout season for him.
Heck, I think it's going to be Curtis Samuel's best season because, like, look at what he's actually had in Carolina. He hasn't had a quarterback that would consistently get him the ball deep. He made a lot of that, underneath stuff. He doesn't get thrown the ball deep, but he's one of the fastest receivers in the NFL. Like,
yeah, and Diami Brown is a deep threat too. So they
oh,
have
and then I
three
forgot to
legitimate.
mention him.
They got 3 legitimate deep threats.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch them though. All right, so we're gonna jump over to the AFC. The AFC East. The New York Jets were in last place last year. Actually, let's. What is your division for the NFC East? So, what are your division winners, and then second, third, and fourth place?
Yeah, so it really is tough. It's a tough one to call, man. This is probably one of the toughest ones to call. But I'm gonna give it to Washington to win it. Gonna be honest. I like Dallas as number 2, a potential playoff team, can push for a playoff spot potentially. Then I got the Giants in third, but it's kind of close with Dallas, man. Honestly, because if Daniel Jones does clean up some of those turnovers, that's gonna be a good team. So yeah, I got Giants as third, with Philly pulling in the rear. But again, Philly, like you said, man, it's a tough one to call because Philadelphia has a chance, I think, to have a bruising, crushing running game this year too.
Well, it's funny. I actually have it the same exact way. I got Washington first, and Washington even more than the offense. It's just because of how nasty that defense is. And then I got Dallas finishing in second, like you said, fighting for that playoff spot. I just have to wait and see on Dallas defense. Like, I have faith in the offense because not just because of Dak Prescott, because like you still have Galladay, you have Cooper, you have freaking Lamb, and I think Lamb is going to have a huge year this year. You still have Ezekiel Elliott in the back. He might not be what he was, but he's still a really good running back. So I got Dallas finishing second. I do have the Giants finishing in third, but like I said, I think that their defense is going to be solid. I think their offense is going to be solid. They're going to be a solid team, but in order for them to make the playoffs, Daniel Jones has to take that next step, and I'm not sure if he will. And then I have the Philadelphia do finish in fourth, just because I'm not a huge Hurts person. I'm not a huge Hurts fan. Like, I get your whole concept on Cam Newton did it, but Cam Newton is 250, 260 pounds. Cam Newton's game is completely different. Cam Newton has a stronger arm. He has more zip on it. Now, one of the things that he was criticized for was not being able to put touch on the ball. But like, I can't compare Jalen Hurts because their game is too not dissimilar. It's not similar at all. Maybe as a runner, Jalen Hurts is better, but I haven't seen anything that says he's better than Cam Newton at passing, and Cam Newton was not accurate. So like, I haven't seen anything last year. So maybe he'll prove me wrong.
I just think it's gonna be they have a chance to have a really, really good running game, right? When you have a mobile quarterback, usually it helps your starting running back out. So if they have a really good running 1-2 punch going with him and Sanders, it's gonna open up throwing lanes, right? So if they can get that part of the game going, it could be interesting. But I'm not gonna bank on it. I wouldn't put money on it. But they have a chance.
Okay. Now, let me jump back to the other side of the tracks. We were talking about the AFC East. Now, the AFC East, the fourth in the division, were the New York Football Jets. And it's interesting. Like, I probably am the biggest fan of what they did this offseason. Now, they shipped my man Sam Darnold to Carolina, so thank you. But you got somebody really good in Zach Wilson. And then on top of that, you got somebody really, really good that I did not believe that they could get and Elijah Moore. And then you got another big man up front, and you already got a massive offensive line that you were building. Like, their defense is going to suck. But if Zach Wilson is who I think he is, that offense, and then you got Mims from last year. Like, that offense is going to be, and Crowder still came back. The offense is going to be pretty decent. Like, I still think they're probably finishing last in the division, but that offense is going to be something.
Yeah. The Jets are interesting too moving forward. I like Robert Saleh. How fast he can get the defense turned around, how long it's going to take, how many drafts they'll need. That's going to probably be the key. But yeah, getting a potential franchise quarterback, Zach Wilson, everybody loves him, right? That's got to make the Jets fans, man, excited enough right there, just getting that quarterback. But like you said, they're probably not going to be that good this year. But I'm just going to be watching Robert Saleh, man. I'm going to be interested to see how he gets things moving over there. But
Yeah,
they have some pieces.
Yeah, I totally agree. Robert Saleh, I was a huge fan of Robert Saleh. I'm surprised he didn't get a job last year. Like, that was crazy that he didn't get a job last year. But I mean, to those who wait, like, good things happen. Like, I think that this is actually a really good spot, but
Could be a good spot. Could be a great spot.
yeah, well, I mean, yeah, but we all know about, the track record for the Jets isn't good.
That's the thing. Like, if Zach Wilson goes there and they still have Gase coaching and all of that kind of stuff going on, I wouldn't be excited. It wouldn't be too much to be excited about.
But I think it's the culture, though. It's more than yeah.
Yeah, they just got to get the right culture going, right? So get the right coaching staff in there, get things going in the right way, like a Ron Rivera. Like, we could see the difference in Washington since he's gotten there. We believe in that team more because it's been a culture shift with bringing in a new coach. So Saleh could have the same kind of impact.
Okay. Yeah, I totally agree. And we have the New England Patriots that finished third in the division. A down year, but I will say this: losing your Hall of Fame quarterback, having like 13 opt-outs, and most, like 11 of them, I think, were on the defensive side of the ball that were starters. Like, they had like at least 5 or 6 that were actual starters on the defensive side of the ball, opt out. They're coming back. Now I will criticize Bill Belichick for not giving Cam the weapon. I mean, I personally think Cam is done, but they didn't give him the weapons that he needed, last year. But with all of that said and done, they finished 7-9, which they lost. If one or two of those games, that they lost by 1 or 2 points, whatever the case may be, if it would have went the other way, that would have been a winning football team. And it's crazy that a lot of people aren't giving Bill Belichick the credit that he deserves. He went 7, and partly his fault, because he did construct the roster, but he went 7-9 with an atrocious roster. Most, like, not the defense that he thought he was going to have coming into it because of the opt-outs. That was a really good coaching job that he did last year. And then you look at what he has, coming in. He brought in like 2 tight ends, because you got to go to Cam's strips. Cam is a decent intermediate thrower. So you need 2 tight ends, 2 big guys that have a good range, catching radius. And then they got Bourne that can go over top. Like, they are Aguilar. They do got your man N'Keal Harry. And like, the defense is going to be I love Christian Barmer. I absolutely love that pick. That pick was amazing to get him in the second round. You know, they're going to have a better defense and a decent offense this year, and I do think that they will be making the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm not sure, man. I can't just jump and say they're definitely gonna make the playoffs. Like they did bring in some guys in the draft, like you said, Barmore from Alabama, right?
Yep.
For the defensive line.
Mm.
You got Stephon Gilmore, who's holding out. He wants more money. Dante Hightower is coming back, right? But he's older, sat out football for a year. I mean, how's he gonna come back, right? He's been banged up most of his career too, a lot too. So I can't just say definitely that the defense is. I mean, when you got Belichick designing it, you're not going to be but so bad, right? But I can't say that they're going to go
11 defensive players opting out last year. The only
right.
one that's
But how
not coming.
many?
The only one that's
How
not
many
coming
of
back.
them were actually like going to
That's what.
be?
That's what I'm
impact
saying.
starters?
There were. I think they said there were 5 starters, and then the only one that that's not coming back is Patrick Chung because he retired.
Right.
Like
I was gonna say, like Hightower is probably the most high profile guy coming back. And what is he now? Like 30, 31? Got to be somewhere up in there, somewhere. Gilmore is getting older. The defense is actually starting to age a little bit on them. And offensively, you got Cam Newton, who I like Cam, and he started out pretty good last year. But I mean, does he still have it? We don't know. You got Mac Jones. We don't know. And they're not surrounded with a whole lot of talent over there still.
I
mean,
trust Bill. Like I'm telling you, Bill
literally the
Belichick
number
went
one wide
7.
receiver.
If any other coach would have had the shit that Bill Belichick had last year, like they're not going 7-9.
But see, that's the thing with Belichick, right? The roster was not that good, so that's on you. But you did manage to go 79 with that roster, so that's good job. But the reason why the roster sucked is because of you. Is he going to be able to get that turned around? Tom Brady was a band-aid for a while, and they don't have that anymore. Who's the number one wide receiver over there? Who's the go-to guy? Who's the guy? Who is the guy?
It's probably gonna be one of the tight ends.
What's upset?
I don't know. I still don't think that the Patriots are done yet. I don't think that the Patriots are done yet. I think the Patriots are going to trade for one of these receivers. I mean, I could see them giving up a second and something else for Michael Thomas. I think the Saints want to get off of Michael Thomas. I can see them trading for a decent receiver, even if it's not a high profile like that. I can see them going out and doing that.
They're gonna need to do something because I mean their number one wide receiver as of now is Nelson Aguilar.
But Nelson Aguilar can get deep. So what I think what they'll probably do is they'll probably have Bourne and Aguilar work in the middle to deep of the field, and then the tight ends working underneath in the middle. I believe in Bill Belichick.
What they're going to need is Damian Harris. I mean, I believe in Bill Belichick too, but they're going to need Damian Harris and/or Sonny Michel to have a monster season, man. I just don't. That roster has slowly been deteriorating over the last few years, and like I said, Brady has been a band-aid for that. That's not there no more. So we'll see. But I can't just jump out and say, yeah, they're definitely making the playoffs again.
I'm telling you, with the team that they had last year, they took Seattle to their limit. They came inches away from winning that game.
Right, and they caught Seattle at a good time when Seattle was still figuring it out on defense. I mean, they let Julian Edelman almost catch for 200 yards receiving. When have we ever seen that? He was getting down the field on them. They sucked.
Yeah, but I'm saying I'm just saying with the roster that was constructed and everything. Yes, that was Bill Belichick's fault, but that was an outstanding coaching job. Like, you don't understand. Like, they had key pieces. I wish I had the roster in front of me right now. They had key pieces opt out last year. It wasn't like a lineman here or something like that. They had key pieces opting out last year. And
yeah, Hightower and Chung both opted out. That's only two key pieces I could think of.
Well,
I
see,
mean,
that's what I'm saying. I have to see the roster in front of me, but I know that they had more starters than that. I think they said they had like 5 or 6 starters that from the previous year opt out. Like, I have to actually look at what starters, whatever, but still, even if they were rotational players, do you know how much that can damage? You know how much that can damage the team.
right, and like you're saying, man, I got faith in Belichick being able to put together at least a top 16 scoring defense, at least, right? But
We'll see. Right. But yeah. So next in the division was it? Oh, the Miami Dolphins. Yep, the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins. I think Brian Flores. Since he's got there, and we talk about a culture change with the Jets. He changed everything. He stripped all that garbage from Adam Gase away and changed everything. He changed the culture. He has outdone himself with the coaching job that he's done. And I do believe in Tua. I believe in Tua. Tua was one of the most accurate quarterbacks in college football history. I believe in Tua. I think that, a lot of times we overjudge a rookie quarterback because the quarterback, everybody acknowledges the quarterback position is the hardest position to play, but then they expect a rookie to just be Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes, we don't even know how he would be his rookie year. I mean, I think he would have been great, but still, like, a lot of times we overanalyze and judge what a rookie quarterback does, and then a year or so later, we're like, damn, he's a really good quarterback. Well, yes, like the quarterback position is the hardest to play, and then you're a rookie. On top of that, you've never done some of the things that they're asking in the pro level. So, like, I believe in Tua. I think Tua is going to be really good quarterback, because if they didn't have any belief in Tua, they would have traded Tua and tried to get a upgraded quarterback by far. Like, they didn't do that. They stood still. They could have stayed at number 6, picked them a quarterback. No, we're going to go with Tua. So, yeah, like, I believe in Tua. I believe in their offensive weaponry. Like, Waddle is going to be a monster. Like, he can just work in the middle. He can be in the slot. You still have Parker. You got Preston Smith. I think Gesicki is a really good tight end. I think that they're gonna be pretty solid on offense, and the defense is young and nasty. And I didn't realize. Remember, we looked up Xavier Howard, and this dude had 10 interceptions. What the hell?
yeah, man, like I like Miami to win this division next year. Like I'm not the absolute monster over there.
You went out on you
All right,
like
I'll
Miami
start
to
over.
win.
I'll start over. So yeah, I like Miami. I like Miami to win this division next year. They're my favorite. I like them. Tua definitely has to improve on some stuff going in the year too, like being aggressive, throwing downfield. But maybe he didn't have anybody to throw downfield to, right? So we'll see. Uh, so yeah, I like Tua to take a step forward. I like this team, man. It's a really really solid team, really really well coached. Really like Brian Flores. I like what the GM is doing too. Chris Greer. I like what this team is doing in general, man. You saw the moves they were making before the draft, man, moving down, moving back up, manipulating the board, gathering future picks, still getting their guy in Waddle. Uh, love what the Dolphins are doing. Their defense is legitimate. Like, it's legit, ready to go defense. And yeah, like I like this team to win the division next year, man. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna come down to Tua. Can he take? They're not gonna have Ryan Fitzpatrick to lean back on this year. when things get rough, throw him in the fourth quarter, see if he can come back. And they're gonna have that. Excuse me, but I like this team. I like it a lot. I think they'll end up winning the division this year.
So, I mean, I like the team. I'm not going to that they're going to overthrow the next team we're talking about, and I'm not going that they're going to overthrow Buffalo. Buffalo, their defense is just as good. Their cornerbacks, they have cornerbacks just like Miami, but the thing that they don't have, or the thing that Miami doesn't have, is Josh Allen. We saw Josh Allen grow before our eyes, and it was beautiful to see. You gave him a number one weapon, and he paid you tenfold. Like he killed it last year, and like the only thing I'm concerned about, they don't have a great running game. Like it surprised me because you think of Buffalo, you think this hard power, ground and pound, especially with Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott is a defensive coach, so you think this ground and pound. They don't run the ball at all. Like they just like, let's throw it 40 times. Like
and I think that's what's gonna hold them back, right? I don't think they're gonna be able to get that off this year, throwing the ball that much with no balance and expecting a high level of success like what we saw from. I like Josh Allen too, but 70+% completion percentage with almost 50 touchdowns. Yeah, I don't know about that again. I'm not saying he's gonna turn to a bum, but what he did last year, maxing that out without a balance of a run game, we'll see. I think he's still gonna be good. I'm not saying he's gonna turn to a pumpkin, but just as far as repeating exactly those same numbers as last year, right? That same level of success.
I mean, I get it, but what I seen, it's different than just playing well and everything. I seen somebody that was playing with absolute confidence, almost to an arrogant and cockiness, and that he reminded me, just his bravado reminded me of Aaron Rodgers. Like Pat Mahomes, he's like kind of cocky and everything like that. Not even saying that. We all know that he's the best quarterback in the NFL, but it was just something that rubbed off with Josh Allen with me. That Josh Allen, he just was throwing with he was kind of gunslingerish, but smart. Like he was like, okay, I've seen him. I mean, I didn't coming out. I didn't think he was going to be as accurate he was last year, and he might not be. He might turn back a little bit, but to say that, I think that he can go for 32 touchdowns, 4,800 yards, 12 interceptions type stuff. Like I mean, because I don't see, because Diggs, people not talking about it like that, but he's not even an old man. He's still pretty young. He's in his 20s. Like I think that Josh Allen can be every bit as good as he was last year. Now what would make them dangerous and what would take them to the next level, I would predict if they started running the ball, let's say they gave about 7 more carries a game. I would probably pick them to go to the Super Bowl. Because if they were a little bit more balanced.
I think they might finish second in the division, but still be a playoff team, right? So still have a chance to make a run. Because it was close between them and the Dolphins last year. How many games did the Bills win last year?
I think they were 13-3.
13, so it was a 3-game difference.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think the Dolphins can close the gap a little bit. The schedule might be a little bit easier too, because they finished in second place. So
yeah,
but Bills are definitely. I mean, Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen together. Like
I think a thing that they're not, that is going under the radar a little bit, that I think is going to hurt the Bills, is not having John Brown. John Brown was under the radar. He was a really good for them. Like he was a really good deep threat, and like he took some of the targets he was getting was because of Stephon Diggs getting double teamed. But I think they're gonna miss John Brown.
Damn, this shit went all the way out. Fuck. Because they in there using this shit now. You hear me?
Yeah, I got you. I hear you. But what I was saying is, I think that they're gonna miss, like, under the radar. They're gonna miss John Brown. John Brown was a really good deep threat. They don't have John Brown this year. That is something that concerns me a little bit. Is who's gonna take, that number 2 receiver spot.
Yeah, they got a rookie from last year, Davis, who looked pretty good. But yeah, John Brown and Josh Allen had really good chemistry. Really good chemistry. Another issue that I think could be a problem for them is the lack of pass rush. Now they hammered it hard in the first and second round taking pass rushers.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they know that they need to improve right there. They know they need to get better. They trying, and McDermott, he can get it done, but that's something that they're gonna have to work on too, is getting more pressure on the quarterback and getting the ground game going. So there's like I said, it's them and the Dolphins for me, 1-2 or 2-1, however you want to flip it, and
So,
both of them could make the playoffs.
so this division is really hard for me because my heart says watch out for Bill Belichick, but my brain says there's no way in hell he's gonna
That
finish.
roster
But
is so your brain's
that's
like,
what
you
I'm saying.
can't
My
do
brain
it.
saying
Don't do it.
there's no way in hell that he's going to finish in the top 2. There's a chance that 3 teams come out of the East.
There's a chance.
All right, but so what is your rankings for them?
So I got it. I got the Dolphins number 1, with the Bills number 2. Obviously, they'll probably, if they don't win a division, they'll still probably be a playoff team. After that, yeah, I got New England 3rd with the Jets finishing 4th. So almost the exact same thing as last year, except just flipping the top. New England could still make a playoff push since there's 7 teams that are making the playoffs now. So they'll be in the running with like a Cleveland and other teams like that.
All right, so I'm gonna go with my brain right now instead of my heart. Now, don't be surprised. I mean, I won't be surprised if New England surprises everybody and are 11-6 or 12-5 or whatever the case may be. But I'm going Buffalo, the Dolphins, New England, the Jets.
Yeah, so it could go either way, but I think that that's gonna be the way it falls. You might be able to flip flop the 2 top ones, but I wouldn't be, like I said. I think Belichick could do it, but
and you got to think about this too. He's more motivated than ever right now. He wants to be like, okay.
I mean, he's definitely more motivated. Went out and spent all that money, but what team has ever spent that much money in free agency and then turned around and been good? I can't remember ever seeing that. So we'll see.
I mean, but then you got to think about this too, though. He spent a lot of money, but he didn't spend a lot of money in flash. He got big guys. He got guys that are like, that's gonna be building blocks type guys. Like, a lot of times when you see teams spending that big money, they do it on a pass rusher or a receiver or all this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He built it on something that I think is a little bit more sustainable than the average. So, all right. So, looks like I said, just keep an eye out. Please like and subscribe. If we need to do anything that will improve, make it more entertaining for you guys, just let us know. You can follow me on Twitter at the Black Cat. And yeah, like, we do enjoy doing these podcasts and everything. And thank you guys for all your support. Please keep sharing, and subscribing. Jay, you want to leave them with anything?
No, that's about it, man. So we'll be right back.
All right. Peace.